You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live on criticalmassradio.co.uk. And I find that such a load of work. Of course, it's live. A little hard to talk if you're dead. But then, if you're a legal fiction, you operate under a legal name. Well, you're consenting to be dead, and dead men tell no tales. So I guess in that sense, there's the singularity. So I guess there was one time that I was talking live dead on the air. Interesting perspective. Great big shout out to the Gemini white tiger. The white tiger has shown up, and she's going through her own little spiritual purging right now, just like the rest of us have in the last few weeks. Some still going through Bindi last night, Paul and so many others that have, let's just say this is the purging of the poisons that we have been dealt with for so long, and you get an idea of what this system is, and you pass through this on your way to immortality. So take heart, and it's a beautiful blessing. It's a pain in the ass, but you got to see it for what it is. And bodies just aren't used to housing monster spirits that are that big. So that's all it is. It's all good. But the dragon wings of this Gemini are wrapped tightly around the Gemini tiger, the Gemini white tiger. Maybe watch Last Samurai again. You'll see the allegory. So stand to post, do not yield, none shall pass. We do this together. It's really that simple. Lots of interesting comments. Something else too, and again, I don't want anyone feeling bad or whatever, but one, Facebook texting is okay just for little bits here and there. I do not like it as a rule because it is too small to read and type and all the rest of it. I've only got a little notebook. Skype is much better because, it's direct access, and I don't have to keep opening and closing windows and wasting a shit pile of time during the day. So I would ask people, if you're going to have a chat with me, get on Skype. I'm going to be really blunt here, and it's not that I don't want to, because I will. This is my nature. I will just keep chatting. I don't have time to chat 5 or 6 different windows all day, especially between shows. On a Tuesday. So much love to everybody. If you have a question, just pop it in. And don't worry, I see it. I acknowledge it. But I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, try to text you answers to some of the most profound fucking questions you could ever ask anyone. It doesn't work that way. Pop your question in, call into the table, let's discuss it here, because I assure you, the questions that I get asked all the time have already been answered long ago. Countless shows, countless thousands of hours of on-air shows, on top of that, countless thousands upon thousands of hours of research and dedication to this. This is all I've done for the last 4.5 years, and whole life actually, but it really didn't come into focus until 4.5 years ago. So I would just ask to keep that in mind. I've got over 2,000 people in my Skype alone, 5,000 on Facebook, and, of course, email that I didn't even get a chance to get to today. So I just want to, if you could put that in the back of your mind. I know I love chatting with people. I do. And I will keep going as long as you keep going. So I just ask, don't provoke me to keep talking, because I will. That's just my nature. Just letting it out there again. I've mentioned this quite a few times in the past. More importantly, though, Facebook, as far as texting, is just a royal pain in the ass. What I can cover in 5 minutes conversation would take me 2 hours on texting. So that's why I give out my Skype, my phone number and shit, so you can actually get a hold of me direct. So I do enough typing all day. And, if you go to my writings page, you'll understand what I'm talking about there. So anyway, that's not a rant or anything. It's just that's my asking for a little courtesy on your part to, if you want answers and stuff, maybe oblige me by sharing it the way I can share it quicker, faster, and more direct to you. Plus, of course, with voice as well, you will get the intent and the frequency. I had a great chat with Paul and Magnolia earlier this afternoon, and quite frankly, it was a radio show all by itself, which that's what I mean. I'm on the phone as well all day and trying to keep up on top of things. Big shout out to Steve Travesty for putting up that video, The Hated Patriot, number 32. What was the title of it? Let me just scroll. I just want to make sure I get it right. So if you want to find this on YouTube, I highly recommend it. I shared Steve's story a while back. He was the individual that went down in the U.S. And again, it doesn't matter where you are on this planet. And I really need people to get this. This is probably the most important critical thing to get. If there is a court in that country, it is under the Crown rule. They're all the same rules for all the same countries, for all the same slaves. They just make it look like it's a different jurisdiction. There are only two. There's you and being dead. You play with the legal game, you are dead. So don't be surprised if you get treated that way. You can't hurt the dead, especially those that consent to be it. So quit your garning, quit your crying. Time to grow up and grow a pair. Fair enough. Okay, so where was I going there? Video. Let me see. Hated Patriot, episode 32, The Rebellion Strikes Back. Now, this story from Steve, and I want to continue on. I did a synopsis of White's story with Wayne and his daughter White, of course. I did the synopsis wrap-up on the afternoon show on criticalmassradio.co.uk, the 2 for Tuesdays, right? We get Tuesdays, it makes sense. And I did a synopsis and a wrap-up of all of that, and this is still unfolding. And what's happened here with White not feeling well is exactly fully expected. Because I'll tell you, whenever it hit me, I was literally at an ethereal peak. And bodies just can't handle that shit. But getting back to Steve, he shares his own story in his own words. He was the one that was there. He was the one that experienced it. And everything that we've been talking about all along is proving out time and time and time and time again because it's truth. That's the thing with truth. Don't try to tell me that 1 + 1 = 3 because I'll bitch slap you upside the fucking universe. Okay? And I am very curt for a reason. I am very blunt because I am sick and tired of it. This whole system and all of the people sucking up on the tits of the whore of Babylon, because I'm going to tell you what you're party to, and this is, I guess, a mini rant tonight. If a child gets harmed as a result of the system, if you are supporting that system in any way, shape, or form knowingly for self-service, again, there's two worlds operating here, and those that understand what I'm saying, that know how to deal the system a death blow back by using it against itself, that's different. But those that serve the system are reluctant to accept the reality that anything to do with the legal name is, in fact, making you dead, and your soul is claimed as a result. Of course, if you have any children, if you give a shit about them, you might want to pay attention, because if you registered them, just like you were registered, they're slaves and their soul is owned by another. So let's get the game right here. If you're doing anything in the system because that's all you can do and all you know how to do, now, fine line here, guys. I can feel the egos already. But for those who don't know who you are, please disregard this because you already know who you are. We've had this discussion countless times. But if a child is harmed as a result of the system that one is supporting and serving, and I'm talking about the free men on the land, gurus, and the shills and the idiots and all the rest of it, if you're doing things to promote anything within the system, you're harming that child. And here's the magic. Way now. No one touches the children. And I will grant the most profound wish of mirror for all harms that you are doing as a result. You make your bed, I'll make fucking sure you lie in it. Because if you're not living in the truth, you're lying anyway. So you might as well get in the bed that I'm going to set on fire. This is how resolved I am. And I honestly love when people want to challenge me as far as my integrity and as far as my purpose and my drive and my resolve. You see, I am the one that got to walk through my experience. Very difficult to convey to others. However, I am in the fortunate position of being able to share that on a nightly basis, have for the last 6 years. Not to the level, of course, since I've been with Critical Mass, which has been 7 nights a week. It's quite a grind, guys, but this is how much you matter to me. And if you don't think you matter to you, well, good thing that I do. I think you matter, and I'm going to make damn sure you get this, and I don't care if you love me or hate me. Whatever it takes to get this through the thick skulls of the ego programs, to get them out of you, the demons, the of-me's out of you, the happier I am. And I don't really care how I do it. And I don't care if you get offended if somehow I've offended your fragile little ego by calling you a wanker or whatever. The simple truth is this: I want your goat. I want you paying attention. I want you to see this because it's costing you your soul. If you don't want to pray, that's fine. If you're easily offended and have a need to defend an ego just because you can't face the truth, that's fine. But that's your call. I'm just going to call you out on it. Because I know countless people now that know exactly what I'm saying and stand in their truth. And they will not yield. And they know the price that is paid if you do. So this is my shout out to all those that actually have a benevolent intent, and I know many of you. I know Max Egan's got a beautiful benevolent intent. Santa Bonacci does. Dean Clifford does, as far as I could tell from him. And here's the thing: if you're promoting anything within the system, you're harming the children. You harm the least of me. You harm the beast in me. And this dragon will fire you up. And I will not tolerate any debate on this anymore. I'm sick and tired of pseudo-experts thinking they actually know something about this system, trying to tell me what it is. It's been over 2 years since I've held my daughters in my arms. This is what it has cost me, in the sole effort of trying to protect them and the ones and my partner, who I haven't talked to in over a year. This is what the system did to me, to try to break me. 28 days solitary, you should try that one on for size. You should try being a mark, a target, which I was since May 26th of 2010. No, there wasn't a parking ticket in the Judge Bows to Sovereign video. I was there. It was a test to see what I knew, to see if they could buckle me under. They failed miserably, and as a result, probably the most viral truth video on the web came out of it. Judge Bows to Sovereign. Doesn't matter that it was me. Just pay attention to what happened. Start asking yourself the questions, why? Because that's all I did. No one was more surprised than I. Think about that. You weren't standing there, I was. Steve Travesty, when he stood and saw for himself, I am the witness to the name fraud being perpetrated here, and I hold the prima facie evidence in my hand, holding up the live birth record. Is it now your intent to aid and abet me into committing fraud and enticing me into slavery? To which the district attorney, I'm from the UK living in Canada, this is US, tell me they're fucking different. The district attorney turned to him and simply answered him in pure truth because he was challenged. And he said, yes. If you want to see the video, Steve did a wonderful job explaining it and also shared a pretty awesome dream as well. I've had lots of neat discussions with Steve, a fellow musician. Of course, he's in a slightly different genre than I am, but I love it anyway. Guys, it's really simple. We've had too many people come to this table with too many victories. And I'm really, really tired when people that should know better still don't know better, or if they do know better, aren't acting in it out of fear, need to grow a pair, stand up, pull up the big boy manties and the big girl panties. Miracles happen when you stand in truth. Because there's no one thing you can do when confronted with a truth or a lie. When you discover a truth, I call them aha moments. When you find a truth, you now have a choice to stand in it or deny it. It's a catch-22. You're going to be challenged on both sides. The big difference, when you stand in truth, the universe stands with you, and no harm will come to you. You will be challenged to the degree that you can handle it. Nothing more, nothing less. So don't be surprised when you put yourself on the spiritual radar. The universe is going to ask you, yeah, you sure your heart is pure and you will stand in this place? You sure? I'll give you a little test just to make sure. Taking your leap of faith, it's the second step that counts, not the first. The first one could be deemed lucky. Oh, that was lucky that happened. No, it's the second step that makes the difference. Judge bows to sovereign, step one. running off 3 OPP on March 14th, live on the air. Step 2. All for the world to see and hear. If you've got a bigger experience and paid a bigger price, then please come to this table. And I know many that have. Talking with Mags today, she walked the same path as I did. And as I said to her today, boy, we were so close at that point. And the joy in having our home stolen was we were able to find out the little details, the little idiosyncrasies, the things that weren't seen. You know, things like the Midas touch, where the mere fact that you touched the paper seals it with your DNA. Invisible to the human eye. Just like your true name cannot be heard in the physical ear, cannot be spoken. That frequency, that high frequency within you is yours and yours alone. No one else has that frequency. That's your name. And the good news is, even if you did get asked to say it, you can't, because your vocal cords can't handle frequencies that high. So it's pretty simple. But excuse me. Getting back to the realities of what's going on here. I have worked too long and too hard. I've become too resolved to tolerate anything less than truth, to tolerate anything less than the answer, okay. And anyone that wants to challenge me, please. I don't consider it a challenge. I just consider it let me expose your ego and your ignorance, because I was there once, so I can recognize it. I can recognize my own stupidity, having gotten smarter from it. It's really simple. And like I said, and I will continue to say, I don't care what it takes for me to get the word out. If I have to have this whole planet dissing me, me pissing them off, egos, that's ego, that's TV channels. Like, oh no, the TV's yelling at me, Mom, what do I do? Well, I just turn it off, personally. But anyway, I don't care what it takes. You want to call this another crucifixion, you knock yourself out, because that's exactly what it is. But here's the thing. The nails pass right through. I don't even see them, because I don't care about them. Because I know what it is. And I'm not going to be upset by somebody's TV program yelling and screaming and being all offended and sucking their thumbs and crying in the cereal aisle because they didn't get their decoder ring, or they didn't get their gimme gimme, they didn't get their accepted for value, they didn't get this, they didn't get that. Jesus, Lord Thunder. I tell you, when you see this for what it is, no one is going to bitch slap you harder than yourself. I know I've been beating myself up a lot. And the good news is I don't have to beat myself up anymore. That is a joyous, joyous thing. I simply get quiet, shut down the left brain, because that's exactly what happens in the ego program. It starts creating all these mountains out of molehills. Well, that's what system is indoctrinated into you. Recognize it for what it is and go, shh. Not going to do that anymore. So I don't do it. And those little moments that we have, they're fewer and fewer and farther between, and even tinier and more infinitely small compared to what they used to be. It's a wonderful place to be in the center of peace. It's a wonderful place to be in the center of truth, knowing full well that when you stand there, the shields are up all around you. Nothing touches you. And when you get it right, just like White and Wayne did, principal is going to have a headmistress. In the UK, it's headmaster or headmistress. Short term is the head, right? So when the head gets all uptight because she gets challenged, threatens to call the police, and of course Wayne says, "No worry, I'll call them for you." Only to find out that this same sergeant that pulled over White's mum a few days before, same sergeant, arrived at the school and was told that the meeting was there, that Wayne and White weren't welcome, and it was all based on the fact that her schoolmates refused to answer to their names on the Friday. And Wayne said, well, it's obviously going to have my daughter involved because of the no names here, mate. And the sergeant agreed. And the sergeant left behind an officer and told the headmistress, no problem, I'm going to leave an officer here. If you mention her name during this, I will. This officer is under orders to arrest you. To which the headmistress said, you can't do that. And I could feel the energy of, oh yes I can, watch me. And boy, if that didn't create enough of a stir for the parents, I don't know what does. So not only have you got educating and helping her fellow children gods and goddesses, these children, the ones, guys, the children are going to save your ass. They're the dreamers. Time to wake the parents up, yeah? And that's exactly what's happening. Because someone, a friend of one of the parents called Wayne to ask what was going on, and Wayne told him, and this guy went up to the officer and asked, if this headmistress mentions White's name, are you going to arrest her? And he said, yes, those are my orders. So when you cut yourself free of the vampire, guess what happens? The werewolves become yours and will serve you instead. And this is not about commanding people and being all hierarchical and everything else. It's just the way natural law works. Okay? This is the test here. And it's going to be up to you whether you pass or fail. No one else. One of the main questions that comes up to me from many people, not so much more, but it still comes up on occasion, is what do I need to fill out and send where to let them know that I'm disassociating with the name and rescinding this, that, and the other. If you just thought that, then it's already done. So stop doubting your godness. I know, this is a tough pill to swallow. How can that be possible? Because you got duped into thinking you're a physical meat stick. You forgot that you are the true power and essence of this universe, the little spark of the all-spark. That one takes a bit to get comfortable with. It takes a bit to get used to. But I assure you, it's a fact. It's a miraculous fact. And you won't believe it until you see it for yourself. That's exactly what the test is. The leap of faith. Awesome. What is truly awful is when you take the second step. You will be full of awe at that point. Interesting that they talk about something being bad. That's awful. When awe is something you just go, whoa. So I don't deal in some awe. I deal in full awe. Totally awful. Cool, huh? Anyway, not just want to go, but here's the simple thing regarding all paperwork, guys. The essays, documents, writings, etc. on my creativegaia.wordpress.com website, they're yours. The only reason Creative Gaia is by Creative Gaia is so you know where they were sourced. But once you understand what is in those writings, they're yours, they're not mine. If you get an aha moment and it's a truth concept and you'd use the same or similar words to explain it the same way, whose words are they? They're not mine anymore, in the same way that when you hear one of my songs, you get different pictures than I do, so it's not my song, it's yours. That's why I don't claim anything. That's the joy of not claiming one thing when I am part of all things. Interesting that. And that's the power you all wield. So what I would suggest, if you have anything that you want to, if you're playing with quartz or whatever, again, I don't recommend it, because the instant you walk in there, unless you know who you are, you've already bowed to the jurisdiction, right? Because if you think that you're the name, then you are the name. And there are a handful of people out there that know they're not the name and have been very, very instrumental in throwing death blows into the court system because they know who they are. Steve Travesty being one, Steve Nahon's another. I can rattle off tons of these guys. And we're at that point now where it's just in the mind, change your mind, change the universe, and it's real. And we're watching it. I don't know about you, but if your child came home from school saying, oh, there was a meeting today and the headmistress or the principal was threatened to be arrested if he or she had mentioned so-and-so's name. I don't know about you, but that would certainly raise some red flags for me. So if you're wondering if there's a bit of a fire mentally going on in the United Kingdom right now, my home turf, this is why it's so beautiful. It had to be the white tiger. Gemini, white tiger, what are the odds? 100% apparently. Like I said, watch Last Samurai. You'll understand the analogy and how critically important that is. And the power that child is wielding in full force. Quite something. Quite astonishing. And fully expected. Nothing surprises me anymore. And that's the power each and every one of you yields. No names here, mate. Get used to saying that. Bill Hicks does a bit of a comedy routine, or did, the late great Bill Hicks, where he has this rough and tumble. I guess we'll use the analogy of a meat stick automaton cop, typical jarhead, one of the low IQ types I like to hire. Totally ego-driven, lusting after the money and the system and the power, and of course either a bully or a bully, doesn't matter either or. Standing talking to another kid, small, another guy. Throws a gun down at the guy's feet and says to the guy, "Pick it up." And the other guy says, "Hey, mister, I don't want any trouble here. I'm on my way to pick something up at the store for my wife and my daughter, Pick it up." I said, "Why? I don't want to, because if I touch that, you'll hurt me." And pick it up. This is universe testing you, by the way. This is an allegory of every test you will ever get. Do not yield to it, because I'll tell you the end result. It's simple. So after enough badgering by this jarhead, the guy decides to bend over, touches the gun, and the cop puts one in his head. You saw him. He went for the gun. The gun is your name. Don't pick it up. Never pick it up, no matter how tempting or how fearful you feel, because I'll tell you this right now, the instant you do is the instant you enter the jurisdiction, and they can legally and lawfully kill someone who has consented to be dead anyway. That's why cops don't get charged with murder. And if they do, it gets washed away rather quickly. In Canada alone, every year there are over 500 people murdered in incarceration. Not one charge. Because they're not killing anybody that wasn't already dead. And this is a tough pill for people to swallow. You do it to yourselves. And if you can be pushed and agitated and badgered enough into taking on the name again, that's all these guys are trained to do. Remember, they're trained to lie. They're trained to bully. I know. I was hanging out in the OPP training center for 3 months in Arthur, Ontario as I was putting it back together. I got to know some of these guys. And isn't it funny? I ran 3 of them off. Chances are the 3 I ran off, at least 1 or 2 of them might have been at that training center at some point. This is going back a number of years because they were older cops. So these are people who know better. And boy, did they try on that Friday night. You refuse to identify? I said, yeah. I don't play that game. I don't go into. I don't answer the question refuse, right? Because it means to rejoin. I know their tricks. They're fucking junkies and they're well trained. You just got to stand your ground. It says, I don't agree to be anything I don't want to be a part of. I'm not in your dead jurisdiction. That's yours. Remember, 2 jurisdictions. Juris meaning, oath. Diction meaning spoken. So jurisdiction means spoken oath. And the instant you give up a legal name, thinking that you are that legal name, or if it can be assumed to presume that you are that legal name, you have now entered the jurisfiction. And you will get crucified. Jurisfiction, crucifixion. Funny how that works, hey? And it really is that simple. And the instant you just decide to yield, there's nothing more they can do. And we're at such a point right now where even a 7-year-old can lean across the car over her mom's lap to say to the police officer that pulled her mummy over for speeding, "No names here, mate." Excuse me? Yes, you're excused. No names here, mate. To which he looked away, and coincidentally ended up being the same cop that came in that stood for White and Wayne. Even offered them a ride home. I tip my hat to that gentleman. He has a soul. Nice to see them. That's all I'm looking for. The righteous ones that have souls. It's a pretty neat thing. What else did I want to cover tonight? Not really much. It's been a long enough day as it is. But Tony had asked a question earlier today, and maybe we'll touch on that a bit tonight. I have the same answer now as I said then, and it's really entirely up to the individual to what they want to do about it. I'll put it in layman's terms. If you hand the keys to someone that goes out and totals your car because they whose fault is it? Well, it's both, right? If they didn't have the keys to the car, they wouldn't have went out and wrecked it on you. And the one that wrecked the car is the one that it's their fault too. So it's guys, we tango in the universe. There's no solo dancing here with contracts of cause and effect. But anyway, let's get these lines open. Area code 646, you are in the call. Yeah, put your hand up. Hello, hola.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Hi.
That's okay. No, I kind of figured that's why I wait. It's all good.
I'm a virgin.
Ow! Brand new caller. Love those.
Yeah, I'll get the hang of it. Marcus in New York.
Hello, Marcus in New York.
So happy to be here finally.
Well, happy to have you. You know, this is your table. About time you showed up.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you. I really want to laud you, not to put you on a pedestal, but to really thank you for being Spartacus, freeing the slaves.
Well, hey,
who were never really slaves.
See that, and I appreciate the no pedestal thing because that's exactly what can never happen. I just simply equate it to the fact I'm from Belfast. I'm a stubborn, ornery Gemini dragon bitch, and when I put my heels down, I don't shift. So that was in my design. That's why pedestals really don't work. But I know exactly what you're saying, and thank you in the mirror for getting it so that we can do this together. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stiletto heels too.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sure there's stiletto heels too.
I don't. I have one pair of stilettos, but I don't like anything higher than 1.5 inches. I'm already 5'9", so.
No, I'm speaking anagogically.
I know. I got you. Stiletto is a beautiful dagger, by the way.
What's the difference between anagogical and allegorical? I know there are distinction in degree.
Great question. You have literal, then you have allegory, then you have anagogic. What the anagogic is the higher mystical explanation of the allegory and literal. I've used the allegory of let's go shoot the bull. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure if you heard this yet, but I'll share it again for everybody. We got a lot of new people showing up every night. The expression "let's go shoot the bull" is an allegorical way of saying "let's go talk." So shoot the bull, if you took it literally, there would be dead cows with horns in fields everywhere. Right? That's what happens when you say an allegorical term to someone who doesn't speak English as well or understand the slang or the little sayings we have. So typically someone who is just learning English would automatically go to the trunk, think they need to go to the trunk to get a gun to go and shoot a cat somewhere. But that's not what it means. It just means to go and shoot. Shoot the bull means to go and talk. Well, great. I know that it's an allegory for go to talk. Let's have a look at why it's an allegory for going to talk, because it obviously has a root or anagogic hidden meaning in it. So let's take it one layer down. Shoot means to eject something, to put something out, push it out. The is, theos, God. I can show you in the 3 letters. The T is the law of truth, love, unconditional, lave, the law of truth. capital T, not the crucified lowercase. H is the Trinity bridged, the duality bridged, making the Trinity. And E is 9 in the mirror, reversed consciousness, so it's consciousness. So shoot, to eject, God. Bull. Well, bull is the animal that represents Taurus. And Taurus rules the throat and the mouth, where you speak. And when you say, I'm going to shoot the bull, it means I'm going to put forth or eject God from my Taurus field, my mouth, into the toroidal field of creation around me. So there's the anagogic meaning as to why shoot the bull means to go and talk. Literally. Neat, eh?
Yeah, it is. It is. You've done your research. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Oh, see,
Kate?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, quick. Instead of allegory or all ego lie, all consciousness, core consciousness.
There you go.
Or all core.
All consciousness of heart in consciousness. All core E. Love it. Look at you go, Mr. Man. There's a Phoenician.
No, I can do my name. I can do my name too. So Jason Morgan would be J, or divine Yod 10 could be Christ consciousness. I broke that down a bunch of ways. So just basically like God or all as one, and then modus operandi of original spirit to the infinity.
Look at you, man! Oh, you just gave me goosebumps.
I've been listening since. It's funny. I've been listening since when I go back to my YouTube search, because it stores on my phone's search bar. I go back and it's December 22nd was the very last day I stopped listening to Alex Jones, and that happened to be the winter solstice. And then I started listening to Santos and you guys. But I've been listening ever since. So.
Well, I got to tell you. Yeah, you gave me goosebumps. That's beautiful. And I know when I get goosebumps, there's a very powerful charge came out of it. So thank you for that.
I feel them too. I feel them too.
Do you know what that tells me? It tells me that...
What's that?
I've spent so long, years literally, seeing things in a certain way and trying to explain it and never getting it right. And, okay, I got to try to say it this way to see if they get it, because it's so simple, yet it's so... incredibly, I don't know, it seems like almost impossibly simple. And then when I hear another saying it back to me in the same way that I would say it to them, what else do I need to say there?
Well, like I said earlier on the show I can't really relate anymore to anybody except for coming to this table. So
isn't it funny how that works?
And to what the new caller said, I forget his name. I apologize for that. But I wouldn't just thank you too. I would thank the whole entire table, because everybody brings their different perspectives, and I love all the different personalities and people that come to the table. So
now there's someone that understands the singularity of one and the one and all. Thank you. That's exactly it. That's why pedestals aren't allowed, because we're all sitting on the same one at the same height. Crazy, eh?
Right. No, I hate pedestals too. Like I hate it too. So.
Well, we just get the job done. It's like this. If you, I'm going to put it in a. You have this most incredible. Every one of you has this most incredible gift that only you can do, and it's. But you'll do it just because you can, and you think nothing of it. It's not taken for granted. You just don't. Well, can't everybody do this silly, crazy, awesome spirit human trick? No, you have one that no one else can do in this whole universe. So that makes you special, but it doesn't make you different, because everyone has their own. And this is what we're doing at this table. We're sharing these crazy, awesome human spirit tricks, and we're getting this wonderful collective perspective of looking at it from infinite different ways. And this, for me, is how wisdom is found. And I don't spend much time researching. I haven't for a very long time. My work is done intuitively, meditating in silence, and spending time with the most important being in my universe, me. Just like you're the most important consciousness in yours. Everyone at this table has an incredibly important, specific role that only you can do. And that's all I'm asking people to do. Step into your power And if I can show you the road, and many have found this road, it's a magical one. You'll find it through phonics very easily. Once you find that road, and you go, how cool is that? Then you see the map, and all of a sudden, this table just goes exponential again and again, and it keeps doing it. It's freaking amazing. And we have Guru Fuck You in here. I love it. Guru, oh my God, how you been?
Oh, I am good, sweetheart. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere, baby.
How are you, dear one?
Oh, good. I'm staying out of trouble and stirring trouble. You know me, singularity time.
You're stirring up trouble, too?
Always.
Yeah.
It's the only way you
can
find
kindred
truth.
spirits. I just love a kindred spirit.
Oh, yeah, I gotta tell you. And for everybody that isn't in the Skype rooms with us, Guru always has the most awesome posts and right between the eyes. That's what I love about you, man. You're just like, hey, cool, I can shoot that right between the eyes. And,
right
you do
between
it
the eyes, sure. Yeah, I can get kittenish and I can get violent, whatever you want.
Yeah, I play the gauntlet. That's why I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I'm loving this KKK thing you got going, hey.
Isn't it great? KKK is now a brand new thing, and it's nothing to do with little white hooded idiots that are racist and really stuck in their ignorance. It's all about Kate's Kids Cove, and it's about regenerating the triple K, which is the Coptic key, back to the children. So we're giving the KKK back to the kids, the Coptic key. And that's what's happening. And isn't it funny that right around the same time, Kate's Kids Cove and White Knight, everything came together, and it's like now this white tiger that has just gnawed the United Kingdom schooling system, right? Well, I'll tell you, White Knight's little Fluffy just tore the spine out of it.
I love you guys.
You haven't seen anything yet. I'm telling you, this is just starting.
Oh, I know.
What was that song? Baby, you ain't seen nothing yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. Da, da. Let it roll.
Baby. You're getting old, sweetheart.
Oh, I am old. I turned 50 in a couple of weeks. 3 weeks, actually. So don't look a day over 30. So it's all good. That's the Gemini spirit. And that's the nice thing about keeping your mind young and active and all the rest of it. Isn't it funny? As within, so without. Right? It's like I ask my friends, you know why I wear short skirts? Because I can. Oh yeah, it's great. I've lost count of the number of times people say, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. If I had legs like that, I'd be wearing short skirts too. So let's get everybody in here. 972, you're in. Let's get this table wide open tonight. I want to party at the table. All right.
Hey. Almost double cougar and still turning heads, huh?
Ow! It's all good. I'm having fun. I'm just starting to dance now. We got 717, and there's a brand new caller. And Lynn's coming in at 509. Hands up, baby, hands up. So, hey, somebody jump in.
Hey, this is Thomas.
Thomas, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Kate?
Oh, you know me.
Doing great. It's so awesome to call in. There's so much energy that I soak up, even just from having my finger hanging over that one. And for me, it kind of highlights a little bit of these facing fears that we talk about. And I get a little nervous to jump in, and I haven't jumped in months. So it feels good just to be here. But facing these fears, it's like, for me, it's such a visceral reaction. And the past week, I faced it pretty hard and handed off to Babylon Has Fallen to 2 different police officers. And it was a really quick, interaction. They took it, and I kind of walked away. But I knew I had to do it because it was that visceral reaction that I had that was scary, that I had to jump in.
Well, it's all good. It's all good, guys,
yeah.
Because and that's something else, too. And I do get it, because I remember, back when I'd call into radio talk shows years and years ago, and you have that, mouth get dry and you get nervous. Oh, I hope I don't screw up, and all the rest of the nonsense that goes along with it. So I do get that. But one of the things that I take a lot of joy in at this table is we all sit here as equals. I'm just the tranny that pushes the buttons on the board and off the board. That's all I do. And this table is yours. So as I've always told everyone, when you come to this table, it's just a phone call. It's a phone call where we get to share so much beautiful information with the planet, and it's going out into consciousness. What we're doing at this table every night is contracting the new reality by putting our intent of benevolence out there. And here's the magic of truth within me. And again, nobody can ever question my integrity because I'm the one that's going to do that. I come in this game, and I've always stood in this game from a benevolent perspective. Everything I do is for a benevolent betterment of all. And if I have to sound like a raving lunatic bitch to be that, to get that point across, well, then that's the flavor of the week that I'm going to use. And I don't care whatever tools I need to do that. Have you ever said something to somebody and they took you completely the wrong way when you had this most benevolent, loving intent in it, and they took it like it was a slaughtering attack? That's what I'm talking about. You know your intent was pure. The individual just never heard it right. So just because people cannot hear me correctly doesn't make me wrong. It just makes them a little less able to hear what is actually really being said. More importantly, they're not feeling what is being intended. And it really is that magical. It really is that simple.
Speaking of intent.
Agreed.
Hey, it's Colin.
Colin, hey, man. How are you doing? 972, right?
Right. God, I wanted to call you on Friday, and life happened. But so I wanted to let you know I had a mysterious email hit me, and in my when I was, how should I put this? Working, making a living in a way. I get a cease and desist from a former company of mine's attorney. And they learned that I'm talking and working with a former employee of the same company who left.
You there? Sounds like we lost you. Colin? Oh, I hope we didn't lose him. I love that part of the movie. It just gets juicy and then whoop, drop. It's always the way it is. Anyway, okay. Well, when Colin comes back, let me just double check here, make sure.
The funding, there is so much going on here with this because the name was White.
Oh yeah.
And so I had to send back Babylon going with a link to I Am the Witness.
Hey, Colin, could you? I know whiteness, witness. It's all good. Colin, we lost you there for a sec. Didn't hear anything you were saying. So can you start again? Something? Yeah, you'd started saying something about a company or whatever, and then we just lost you altogether. So can you repeat what you said? Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I no longer work for this company, nor does this former employee of the company. We're trying to make a business transaction happen, and the company learns about this and cease and desist us with their attorney, known as White, Whyte. So we're playing with the Phoenician phonetics right there, huh? And so what happened was, I laughed at it because I go, man, did you just open up the door for me to fuck you up? Because he sent that contract to me, right? So he's a lawyer that's, a multitude of cities that they're located. And she goes, well, wait a minute. I've talked to this attorney. This is this guy I was trying to do business with. And she's like, well, he's a bigwig. He's like, he does federal stuff. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to send him Babylon is Falling. I Am the Witness, Monto Proprio Toto Jeannery. So I put Toto, I Am the Witness, Monto Proprio Toto Jeannery, exclamation point. I don't know, trying to get a hold of, but this me. And then I have Babylon Fallen, cut and paste for him to read. So his name was M.K. Weiss. I won't get into the first full name, but nonetheless, I had to call you. I wish I could have called you on Friday.
Oh, that's funny.
So
MK Ultra.
As above, so below.
Getting it done, Colin. Well done. Yeah,
okay, so I got a funny thing. I want to run something by you. So I thought of this and I kind of giggled and laughed the whole weekend about it. But wouldn't we all be foxed if Eric Holder gets served papers for indictment and all they say is, "I am the witness, Monto proprio toto generi"?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is, and here's the power we all wield, guys. And I keep trying to get this across. Some people are starting to get it now. You send out when you know who you are. Here's a simple question, everyone: are you the legal name, and can it be assumed, presumed you are? If the answer is no to the first and yes to the second, then you know who you are. If you cannot be assumed and presumed to be a legal name, that means you have effectively separated yourself and cut the Pinocchio string, the umbilical cord to the whore of Babylon, dead crone corpse mother. Okay? That's where you cut the contract. When you get that, now you're in a causal position of spiritual intent, where your intent and your causal ability isn't being drained off before you open your mind. Never mind your mouth. And never mind writing something to send to somebody. That's why these writings, if you get the concept and it's an aha moment for you and you would use similar or the same words to say it, then they're your words. They're not mine. I have no claim to anything. Please hijack everything on the site. It belongs to you anyway.
So
Okay.
Kate, the thing I was trying to say is that when I sent that, I had the full intent that it would just create his office total chaos. Like, he'd print it and read it and go, "What the hell is this? I'm going to Google Mon Proprio shit." Google that, and then comes up, "You're done for that." So when he reads that and puts the Babylon is falling together, it's like I just gave them to death. And when if they're not retarded, which I don't think they will be when they look at it at all. So now I only included the Pope's papacy letter to really coup de grace of it all. But
can I give you the real coup de grace? I want to show you just how crazy awesome you are. You ready? They don't even have to read it because the contract is deemed contract because they had an email address or an address you could deliver to that they have full exception of. That's how you take the beast out. I don't wait for a response. Nothing can give life to something that I have already given life to. That's why only the dead can respawn. They have to give it life to send it back. That's why it's called a respawns. Spawn of Satan, more like it. So here's the power you wield.
The thing. I know. I feel like double dipping here. Today I got in the mail the same letters addressed email-wise in the mail. So I understand the contract of having a mailbox as well, of being a whore of Babylon. So when you let it, okay, so now I read just to double dip.
Well, see, there's where you can break contract on your end. You can decide what mail is actually for you from friends and family that don't have an intent to rape your soul. And, of course, anything that's coming in with again, everybody lose the whole notion of it's an all-cap slave day, but it's uppercase, lowercase. None of that matters. Okay, we went through all this.
I agree.
I can effectively tell you the countless thousands of hours I spent researching trust law, contract law, UCC, UP, all of that. It was an absolute and complete and utter waste of time, and it was an absolute, utter, complete use of time to see the contrast of it all being illusional, delusional, fictional, useless. That's why anyone that's still dabbling in this legal shit needs to have their head examined. They're crazy. They're playing in a fiction. They're playing in dead man's land. I don't play there. So that's if you want to know what I think of legal, I think I've made it clear over quite a long time here. That's the power of the deal.
I got another thing to run by. Okay, so we all kind of get into the Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and with talking and Martin, they're both like initial LL and RR, respectively, for their chronicles. I mean, what do you read into that? Do you have an idea?
I look at everything anagogically. I'm not looking at the literal story. I'm looking for the 13th warrior, the 12 disciples, and the Holy Grail within everything, and it is in everything. As an example, was talking about Gandalf today. As a matter of fact, J.R. Tolkien, in order to become the white wizard, he had to make the grade first. That's why he was the gray wizard. He was walking between the worlds, and only when he fully sacrificed the gray did he become the white knight, the all-powerful wizard, right? And that's exactly what is in each and every one of us. And don't be fooled with the Luciferian concept of becoming magical. You are all creation. You don't need to impress yourself or anyone else because you are all that and a bag of chips, okay? Get over it. You're good. You're perfect. I know this. You've been right your whole life. I can prove it. This is why I laugh when I call people out. You've heard me. I'll bring Fluffy up and go, come on, puppy, let's have some fun here. And I'll just throw the biggest, scariest little, I'm going to get your goat ran out there, and I'm laughing like a fool inside because I know what it's doing. Like I said, I don't care. You cannot offend me. You cannot. Go ahead, try. The only thing that will ever get the hair on the back of my neck up is if someone is still working in legal things and trying to decipher all of that like it matters. I'm going to remind everyone that supporting that is harming a child, and you've got the Dragon Queen, me, to deal with now. And I am getting more and more relentless to make sure that I get this point through. And I'll call out anyone in any manner of ego-grabbing name that I think will get your attention to at least come over and have a look at what this bitch is screaming about. I don't care. So whatever gets you here. Good promo, bad promo. Whatever gets you to the table or gets you looking at the writings, because those are the benevolence. Those are the truths that you need to see for yourself, as we all have and shared at this table for almost 2 years now. A year and a half anyway. Okay?
So 90% of the population gets your hackles up then. Is that what you're saying?
Well, pretty much. But it's okay if but one shall awaken. So that's why when Jason was talking about breaking his name down anagogically through Phoenician, and I'm listening to a definition, a true of Phoenician definition. It wasn't what he was saying, it's what I was feeling when he was saying it. That's the shit I'm talking about.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's good to get your hackles up, though.
That's what I have Fluffy for.
Fluffy has to be under rain, and sometimes you got to give them their head. That's all.
Well, yeah, I got to tell you, Fluffy's favorite snack now are spines. He loves carrying the spine.
Kate, I picked up on that too.
I think we lost something.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Go ahead, guys. I'm waiting.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Hi, loud and clear, Barb.
Yes, you were so excited when Jason broke his name down, Kate. You saw a little girl at the candy store. Oh, I taught him well. I taught him so well. And he's demonstrating just what he has learned from your lessons that he said he started taking in December, around the 22nd, going to winter. He was excited. You was excited. And it's just like you just filled up with joy. Like you just know, now I know. Because I taught Jason.
Oh no, see, hang on, Barbara. No, see, I can't accept that I teach anything. You see, what gets me
right.
excited
You
is
just instructed him.
Jason,
You're right. You just teach.
No. It's not about being right or wrong. I just want to clarify this for everybody, because I will not take away anyone's power, nor will I give them mine. This is a balanced game here. So what Jason did was he remembered, just like I remembered, just like you remembered. This is your victory, not mine. We just sit at this table and I do the writings and we share this together so that we can help each other remember who we are and what we already know. You know all things. It's just the awareness got kind of bumped a little, if you know what I'm saying. But I appreciate exactly what you're saying, Barbara. And really, guys, when I hear that, it is Christmas morning and I'm opening the best present under the tree first. That's what it feels like.
And that's how excited he was to know that he had comprehended, he had remembered what you had already remembered, and that just made him feel so good. Oh, I'm on the same wavelength as my sister Kate. I'm on the same wavelength. You know, like we asked the question, what does it take to win? When you were talking earlier, that's the question you were asked, what does it take? So it's a song that a guy sung years ago. What does it take to win your love for me? I try in every way I can to make you see how much I love you. I thought you understood, but I gotta let you know.
I do, hon. I do. Barb, it goes without saying, hon, and that's exactly what sits at this table. It goes without saying. We know this, and this is why we sit here and share together. And every night is show and tell. Every night. It's awesome.
That's what children do. The first game they teach you in preschool is show and tell. The first game.
It sure is. Hey, we got a lot of noise going on in the background, guys. I'm not sure who it is. It's really... okay, it stopped now. It was really loud. So just be mindful, please. Wouldn't want anybody jumping all over you on the call. So just it's courtesy for everybody. Just a little shout-out for Billy. Good job. I was just unfriended by Danny Wilton. Yeah, well, you know, if you don't worship Danny Wilton, he'll unfriend you. So... no harm, no foul there. Oh, and I added D. Smith, one of his former compatriots, to the shittiot list. And apparently she doesn't like trannies much. Well, she ain't going to like me too much. And has been a promoter in the past and of that meditation is bad for you. Okay. I don't feel so bad because she thinks everybody's a show anyway. It's all good. It's funny as hell to watch.
Hey. Is that They Always Seeks person?
The which?
Do you know? They Always Seeks, or something like that is her YouTube page?
Yeah, I haven't looked at D stuff for a long time. The only thing I knew really about her was some of the rants she was putting on a couple of the groups I was in, and that she was involved with Danny Wilting. Or whatever, Wiltec or something. I'm not sure. Wilton?
Yeah, I'm sure that this is the person that ripped Bill Donahue a new one just for something on his page. She's done it to numerous people. There's Ruth Smith. She did it to Ruth Smith because we don't believe like she does. So we're all stupid fucking idiots and everything else. So I'm glad you mentioned her, too. I'm about fed up with her stupid, idiotic rants about people that know what they're talking about. Yeah, she's got like 5-6 years worth of research as opposed to almost a lifetime of stuff. So good on you. Another one to call a idiot. Thank you.
Oh, no, totally. Again, and it's really funny that I actually, when people are out of my reality, I don't tend to keep a focus on them. But, of course, Universe delivered her up to me yesterday. I thought, and I actually added her to the document. Kathy Katz has been wanting to call in. By the way, Clarity, thank you. I want to do a quick shout here. It's BTR Listener 021 tonight for those that want to call in via Skype. And, of course, you can call in at 661-467-2401. We've got 51 minutes until the end of the show. I'm not going to roll over tonight, guys. I already had a couple hours today, and Tuesday is a bit of a grind for me. I'd like to get these headphones off. But anyway,
how about some dinner?
I had some soup and
I have some food. Oh,
there you go.
I
actually ate
some broccoli. I'm not ready to. It's not cooked yet. I mean, the fish is cooked, but the broccoli needs time.
There you go.
You feeling good?
Oh, yeah.
Relax. I don't know if we worked on the roof of your mouth, so I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I think, one second, I just got to go down and check to see. That looks like a conversation being held outside of the show. Check 1, 2. I think I got it. There we go. That was interesting. Randy, you haven't jumped in yet.
Hello, lovelies. How are you?
Hello, and Coral, I've got you in with me right now, Coral. Just letting Randy and Coral know the mics are open, guys, so don't hesitate to jump in and play. We want show and tell. Let's have fun.
Yeah, I heard. Me oh my. I had a really tough, odd morning day of 13 hours of the realm, and it was you all. It was you all who helped me bring the light, you know? It was just thinking of the love I get from you all and what we're doing just carried me through. And I thank you all for that. I'm so grateful. Just thinking of this table and thinking, what would Steve do? What would Colleen do? What would Mike do? You know, what would the table say? You are my consciousness. So you all had a great day. You all could have easily thrown your arms up in the air numerous times, and you didn't. You could have yelled and screamed and ranted, and you didn't. You could have done a lot of negative things, but there was nothing but love brought at every turn, and thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, there's a interesting... thank you, Randy. I'm not sure where that's coming from.
Yeah, it's new.
That's a new one. Here, 1 second. It might be the call-in number. Let me just double-check here. Let me just wait.
It's for you.
Oh, it's not that one. One of these numbers is doing it. My favorite line now... not that one. My favorite line now is when I hear a phone ringing. If that's for you, I'm not here. Okay, that's bizarre. I'm just going up the list, guys, to see where it potentially might be. And it was on Barbara's line. No problem. Well, I'll open it up in a little bit. There we go. All sorts of weird and wonderful stuff happening tonight, boys and girls. But yeah, Randy, thank you, because that's exactly how I feel about everybody here. And, you know, I have a great deal of peace and joy now knowing that we have this table. It's a and, you know, even without it, we have each other anyway. If this table never happened again, we'd still keep growing and growing and growing. No question. There's no turning back. There's no looking back any longer. You know, so, but what a profound and powerful place to be. And, yeah, in any moment that you need to stand to, all I have to do is remember each and every one of you. And that alone is enough strength. If you can't do it yourself, don't worry. We're there with you.
That was the biggest help. You know, I mean, I had my, you know, number one chef, kitchen manager. He's a recovering alcoholic. He's a no-call, no-show. Had a woman who quit. Now she wants to come back, and she's awesome, so she is. So just and then just a lot of little tickety-tackety things going on that you all just carried me. You carried me. You carried me. I remember every moment, too. And that's 12 hours. 13. So, granted, those are moments in the pet, but still, So thank you all.
Well, thank you. Again, that can be a long, drawn-out day if you feel like you're standing alone, so it does make a difference.
Yeah.
And
then when there's... I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Randy. Go ahead.
When there's like my brother who's in the literal, he's all the name and all this, and we have someone who wants to put a lawsuit against his restaurant, and now they're naming me and the restaurant. Well, here's what you do, people. You go into the lawyer's office like I will tomorrow, and I'm going to hand him Babylon Has Fallen, and I'm going to tell him, we have no contract. I'm a living soul. I'm going to say this to the ball member while my brother sits there who told me today, do not embarrass me. Well, I didn't tell him because he's my boss saying that also. Don't choose to be embarrassed. I wanted to, but I didn't. So, end of story. There's no contract. Will I have a meeting of the minds? Yes, but after that, it's fraud. Done deal.
You're exactly right, Randy, and that's it. I mean, for me, it's a very simple answer. You're asking me to commit fraud. I won't ask you to do that, so I'm not going to wish that on you, and I'm not going to let you wish that on me. The simple truth here is that this is what the whole system is, and you make sure you look that attorney or whatever the hell this wanker's name, you look him square in the eye, and you let him know that you know what's going on. You're the standing power in this one.
Exactly, Randy.
Will do.
Hey, brother, how are you this evening?
I'm coming down from, but hey, it's nothing.
Well, you sound like you had a hell of a day.
Yeah, it's just, a lot of little stuff, and there's a lot of, I'll call it what it is. There's a lot of small minds who are within themselves, and that's not a judgment. That is what it is, and they're not standing in their truth. And so I have to bring the light for some, 60-plus people in 3 different locations, some over a telephone, some just go outside, meditate, and send them the love. Some just call them real quick and get them to calm down. Some who have done coke all night, and they're a really good person, and I keep it to myself and don't tell my brother because he'll have their ass, and, just covering shifts for God knows what because my baby has diarrhea and no one can sit today, and you name it, man, you name it. And the ice machine broke, and then the walk-in's not cooling properly, and the health department's here now, and blah, 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 blah. And it's such a fucking illusion. It's all bullshit. I'm ready to pull a Borean. Oh,
I love it.
Man.
Well, Randy, what I would like to say to you is
bring the truth.
Stay the course, my friend. Yeah, because it's just like with what I went through, me and my wife went through, and that last day we were down there and speaking with that bar member, that I had dealt with, and he's shaking his head, going, "I've just never seen anything like this. I don't know what's going on." And I had given him little hints along the way, that I understand the game that's being played, and so when he finally got done shaking his head, I said, there's probably a few things you need to know, and I'm going to send you some information, and you take a look at it, and if you have any questions, I'd always be free to talk to you. And he said, after this, I think I'd like to see that. And I'm emailing Babylon Has Fallen to him and a few other things that that's something to chew on, because there's a lot of good people out there that have been totally duped. This guy even sat right there in front of me and said, these courts don't even run on their own statutes anymore. It's just the judge's precedent. He goes, it's just craziness. He said, I don't understand it. So, you know, it's everyone's falling, not falling, but having problems with discernment. And even with myself, you know, the physical stress, and I hate to use that word, but man, it's a fight every day for me physically. I just feel like I'm being pounded on with a sledgehammer. And poor little White, you know, I mean, my God, here's this little child who's saving my ass, you know, and she's going through it, and she's willing to stand with it. And so I'm with you, brother. I guess that's all I'm saying. I'm with you.
And that's what helped, is thinking to you all. You know, I had a friend, Julia, who came in, and her energy, you know, she's a dual spirit. She came in, I hadn't seen her in probably a month, and just to see her, I started breathing slower and deeper. And then she saw I was putting on a good front, and I was still pretty calm, but she knows me when I'm not at that place, when I'm not in the right brain. So her hug helped, talking with her briefly helped, thinking of you all, you know, again after that, because I almost went there again, and just the whole thing. We're not alone. We're never alone. We're not, and yet we have to do our own path, right? So it's as if there are parallel lanes going every direction, up and down, and left and right, and side, and all over, and front ways. What is it Willy Wonka says? Front ways, back ways, up ways, down ways. With the Wonka Vader. See, I wouldn't be thinking of the Wonka Vader, which brings me light if you all weren't here saying what you're saying. So it's perfect. Thank you all.
The warrior's path is all one with himself, but it is never alone.
That's exactly it. We walk alone, but now we walk alone together. We have our own paths, and they're all parallel, all telling the same story from infinite different perspectives. And this is the part we've figured out, and this is why we'll never walk alone again. We do it together, and I've said that for a long time.
I'm taking you all into that lawyer's office, okay, that ball member's office.
I'm there right now with you, Randy.
I've been sitting there talking with Steve for the last 5 minutes. We're waiting for you to get there, Randy. It's all good. We're there with you.
Right on. Thank you.
We're in the waiting room, Randy. We're waiting for you to show up, buddy.
Oh, by the way, take your laptop with you, and if you want to call me on Skype while you're there, feel free. I'd be happy to be there and play.
Well, I was thinking maybe I'd just take my cell phone because, well, okay.
It's all good, my friend. I am so in for that shit.
All right.
Yeah, you want to call me?
too.
I'm here, man. Same with Steve. We could have a hell of a conference call and we'll gang truth this guy.
Yeah, and you know, I told my brother, I said, well, I'll tell you, if my free will ever infringes on your free will, brother, I will voluntarily step away. So tomorrow might be that day. I mean, we're going to see if this ball member, I know, I have an idea what my brother's going to do. But I'm not going to create that. No, I don't have an idea what he's going to do. I know his jaw will drop when he hears this ball member go, well, that's it. That's it, Paul. You and your brother can leave. This case is closed.
Yeah, if they can't get a contract with the name, they can't get a contract to play the game. And it really is that simple. Stand in that truth, and you got these bastards. No problem. And no harm to the guy.
I'm riled now. This woman has named me and the restaurant. So that's not going to happen. Done deal.
Nope.
End of story.
Well, I told the first bar member I was involved with that I said, you do realize that I know we're dealing with a corporation here. And he looked at me kind of quizzical, an older fella, and he says, what do you mean a corporation? And I said, well, this courthouse right here, this county, is traded on Dun and Bradstreet. I said, I can give you their DUN number if you want it. I said, the county is the main corporation with 13 subsidiaries, and one of them is a court, and it's traded under 2 different names on Dun and Bradstreet. And he goes, oh, really? You mean I can buy shares in it? And I said, well, no, you can't buy shares in it because you're an employee. And about 2 weeks later, he quit. And so I had to go find another one. So it's been fun. They don't know, but they do know, and so it just but you can't force your hand, and you can't force your brother's hand, and you can't even force your own hand. Just look within before you act without.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point, Steve.
I know a few stories like that one. Lawyers quitting, attorneys tucking tail because they figure it out. This is the power of consciousness. And we've all said this at one time or another. We're dealing with real people here. They're not all monsters. What we're dealing with is a vast majority, 90 to 95% of the people in the legal, police, and court profession haven't got a clue as to what's really going on. And that's
Kate.
exactly how they want it. Hey, Coral, is that you?
Hey. I'm ready to chime in.
Chime in, baby.
Just to kind of follow up with what you're saying there. I had told the table last week about someone that I was dating who's an attorney who we were just having our struggles of, trying to understand one another, where we were coming from. And I had sent him, of course, after our initial breakup, the Babylon Has Fallen. And I never did get a response. And then, of course, when he came to town to see his daughter graduate from college, he had some case that he's been working on that he wanted me to read. And for some reason, I never thought to read it. He kept leaving it places where he thought I would read it. And like I mentioned, he was always using my name. And then, of course, I basically called it off because I just felt like we were just on 2 different timelines, paths, whatever you want to call it. Well, I was contacted recently, and I know just basically from the text and when I finally was able to hear his voice and speak with him, that the words from Babylon Has Fallen rang true. And it was just so funny to hear Steve say that, that someone, quit their job within a week. This is the power of attention that's happening here. I feel that having known that I've had, personal relationships with attorneys in the past and have dated a few in my lifetime, I don't want to say they're the worst of people, but having had my awakening, I'm starting to see just the deep, deep embedded programming that has occurred. And the only thing that can crack that shell is truth. That's the only thing. And it's happened. Only time will tell, but this person has made it very clear to me that they will be leaving their practice in August and just not sure what they want to do next. But I was very pleased to hear that. That a document so powerful can do that, to someone that has been practicing for 20, 30, who knows how long. So I urge everyone to send it out, especially if you have family members that are doing this, because it's killing them. It's killing them and all those around them that they consider clients or commerce or whatever they call it. It's affecting the whole structure of things. So basically, I just wanted to share that with everyone just as a follow-up that it's really happening. And I was another note. I was able to share with him about White Tiger and how she's affecting the schools, because I know at some point his children will be eventually getting married and having children, and that, you know, the education system and all that we once believed in and thought was the only way is no longer going to be the way. And that's how I want to see, you know, the children of the future educated. I have no children of my own, but that's what I want to see happen. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to share today. And I'm going to mute my mic in case you have anything further for me to talk about.
Well, Coral, what I was going to say was thank you very much, and Kate, you too, because the point being is that when I looked in this man's eyes, well, several man's eyes and women through this thing, and as you stand there and kind of tell them, you realize they get a scared look in their eye, because they're just fucking human beings, you know. It's their job. They're just trying to make a living and raise their children and buy a house, and they're caught up in some shit, and they know it's shit, but it's how they're making their living, you know, and it scares the hell out of them. So have some compassion and some understanding, because they're not evil people.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Also, I feel that just sharing that has given them a way out of something that they thought that they were caught up in, like the mob. You know, it's like, you know, this person comes along and just shares something so simple, and really it was just that simple, but yet that it's scary too, because, you know, you have been, you know, the center of the universe, or masters of the universe, some of them feel they are. And then when they realize, oh, shit, I'm a bastard, you know, then it's like, oh, and I thought you were something, you know, corrupt, but it's me. Oops.
But then if you allow them to, if you give them the information, though, or a little bit of it, because you can't force anything on anybody, but like you said, it gives them a way out. They are not the evil ones. They are not the bastards. Exactly. It's the system that's the bastards, and they can disengage themselves then.
Right. And that's the part too, how you kind of have to, like, give small bits and pieces, and then, you know, let them chew on that for a while, and not get too crazy with too much information, because you don't want to blow a circuit. And that's what I was doing throughout the entire relationship. I kept blowing its circuitry with information, and sometimes blowing my own.
Information overload.
Yes, constantly, because, you know, my awakening happened, you know, pretty much in 2012, I guess you could say, but it was kind of like boiling up to that point for years.
Just out of a great cartoon, guys. This is your inspiration. Imagine a picture of a cop or a lawyer standing there with their hands on the hip, looking at their spouse, going, "How the hell am I supposed to make a living if you keep telling me the truth?"
Exactly.
Yeah, but I will interject the opposite side of that real quick. The opposite side of that with myself is that, you know, I've been doing this for like about 40 years, you know, and when I start hammering something home and you get a spark from the other person, like oh yeah, I do understand, and then you hammer another thing and another, and then it becomes an ego trip with myself, and I have to be very fucking careful, because then I become the know-it-all. Yep. And okay, well, if you get that, I'm going to tell you this, and if you get that, I got some more for you. You know, but it's just me expounding my own shit at that point. So you have to just tell yourself, shut the fuck up. Leave it alone, smartass. I
know, left brain antics. And that's one of the things I run into a lot of the time, most of the time, not all the time. You know, I'll answer a question, whatever, and it goes off on this tangent. And see, take the time to breathe. My God, holy shit. What's your hurry? You want this 12-course, beautiful, fine dining in a minute and a half? Ain't going to happen. You just got to sit down and let the universe serve you up properly. And you're not going to do that in a hurry. That's what we've all been trained into. That's what the ego loves. Hurry, hurry, get it now. That's competition. Yeah, with petite ion. Petite ion. Yeah, that's what little gods do. Sorry, I don't compete with anything. I just co-create with my own reality, and we create our reality in our image by our benevolent choice. And that's the power of the contract each and every one of you wields. And look at the difference. And it doesn't matter that it's Babylon has fallen or whatever the case may be. You know, we've got information codified to such a level, and I keep saying we because I need people to really, really get this. You know, I was just asked, is it a Babylon's Fallen video? I was just asked, love this. Is it okay if I download it and share it? My reply is simply this. I'd be upset if you didn't. LOL. You know, that's why I do what I do. The truth belongs to everyone. I lay no claim to it. That's one of the reasons why I went off the last time with AC Boy. Geez, Kate, I want you to know. Just want to know if you've been hijacking information from our site. I'm thinking, you arrogant, egotistical knuckle nut. Hijack my site, planet. It's there. It's yours. Freak. Unbelievable. You know, again, if you use the same words to describe the same concept, whose words are they? They're not mine. We do it together. And like I said, I am your co-creation. Everything that I've put out, and I'm talking everything in terms of writing, because I've been on the air, before I started doing all of this writing. So everything I've written is a co-creation of my experience with each and every one of you and the countless tens of thousands of people that I have been in contact with over the last 4.5 years. So I lay no claim to anything. The only thing that I can say is that I am the co-creation. You created me in your image. How do you like you now? And by the way, I am actually looking at a space-time split. This is the third time it's happened. It keeps jumping up in front. It's friggin' awesome. You got to see the colors in this. No DMT or anything. This is the third time this has happened, and it's just getting bigger. It's awesome. So we're really shifting something here today, boys and girls. Just want to let you know that, because it only happens on every time it's happened, there was a very profound, I can't even put words to it. Let's just say there was a shift, if not just with me, but planetary. So, wow. Oh, this is so cool.
Well, and if someone would like an example of how this works in the physical, in the world we live in, I've got an old farm truck that I drive back and forth to this ranch I work on, and I drive about 5 miles one way to get to the ranch and 5 miles back, about half of it on blacktop, half of it on gravel. And this truck's like a 95 model, and it's gone through hell on the ranch, so it's a little beat up. We try to keep it going. Well, today I was up pulling out an old fence up about 3/4 miles south of the house, and I'm pulling T-posts up out of the ground and pulling this wire out with this old truck, and I backed up and I pull this T-post out, throw it on the back of the truck, and I go to pull forward. And when I did, I needed to turn, and as I turned, the steering wheel just spun in my finger. And I thought, oh, shit, man, I'm going to steer. Well, I'm sitting on top of a hill and, in the middle of a field with a bunch of cows around me, and so, it was no big deal because I wasn't like I was going to run off the road or something. So I get out, and I check all the linkage underneath and everything. I can't find anything wrong, and I'm walking back I got the hood up, and I'm walking back towards the door, and the shaft coming out of the firewall didn't look right. So I crawled underneath the dash, and the steering column had come apart, and it's got like a knuckle joint on the end of the steering column, and it slides up on there, and it's got a bolt that goes through there to hold it together. And the bolt was gone. The column had come apart, and the bolt wasn't even on the floorboard. It was nowhere to be found. I never did find it. I don't know whatever happened to the bolt. But here I was, and I finally got it back together, and I got a zip tie, and I got a zip tie through it and got it held back together so I could get it back to the shop and find the bolts, And the thing is if I'd have been driving down the road, and I only go like about 40 mile an hour down on the blacktop because I've only got about a mile and a half of blacktop to go. But if I'd have been going 40 mile an hour when that thing had come apart, Lord knows what would have happened, you know. But here, this just happened right in the middle of a pasture on top of a hill with a bunch of cows looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know. So if you don't think you protect yourself or universe protects you, that was a really in-your-face example of how we protect ourselves and each other. So I'm here for me, and I'm here for all of you too.
Mirror, mirror. We got Mags in now. Who we got there? I was just going to announce who. Let me just go down the list real quick. We got about 21 minutes. I'm having a hell of a time actually seeing my computer screen right now, so bear with me. This is amazing. We got Mags is in here. Lou, Colleen's in, and Eric Code 16 is in as well. So who was it just jumped in there? Was that you, Lou?
Was it me, Kate?
Oh, hey, Kevin.
Hello, Kate.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm okay. It's been a bit of a funny few months. I've been like Gandalf the Grey, in between, a little too much, I would say. I've been really enjoying everything, especially for the phonetics as such. It's been such a great part for me to learn. I break down words in my own time, in my own space, and it's all coming along. But there's something else I would like to bring to the table because I like to share things.
That's why I'm here, bud. Yeah, you don't ask for permission to this table, God. You just act like it. Get on the table. Have at her.
I'm trying to be polite nowadays. I don't know why. Okay, it started about 2.5 months ago. I decided to start holding tones in my head. Just holding a tone and being able to talk to people. Then, with different temperatures, I put different tones in my head. With different sort of wind, I put different tones on my head, in my head. And I was out in a forest this weekend, and it actually sort of all started to come together as if the earth was actually talking to me, as if nature itself, and I was half understanding the wind and the sounds and the vibrations and the temperature. It's just something that I thought, because I was thinking about phonetics, and I thought, well, let's take it back further. Where maybe did they get it, everything from? And I come to the conclusion it could have only been from the wind and the temperature and the feelings of the place. So that's what I wanted to say, and I would like to say, don't let me be the only one trying to work this out in a new way. But it's got to be a way for everybody. If we could have a conversation with me, that would be, she could tell us what she wanted, and I would prefer to listen to the earth than anybody else, really, because everybody has their own opinion, even though a lot of us are in the middle, and that's pretty much what I have to say. One more thing, though, with the name, even though I understand all
okay, hang on a sec, Kevin. Guys, I got all the mics open here, so I don't know who's doing the talking. So please, will you put your hand up? I open the mic when you put your hand up. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So conversations that are being had outside of the show are being picked up by the show. And I missed most of what Kevin had just said there. It's very distracting. So please, just, Kevin, finish off there, and I can get Colleen in. I've got 816-215. I've got Lou, Mags as well. And we got about 17 minutes left here. So
Okay. With the name, even though I understand how it traps me and everything, my parents didn't realize this, which of course we know, which is the frauds, as we go on. But I don't want to give my name up. My mother and father give it to me. I want to fight to have it back.
Okay, hey, Kevin, stop, because you're actually creating something you don't need to. This is what I'm trying to get across to people. The name is yours. Once the fraud is revealed in your mind and heart, there was intent to deceive your mother and father, means there is no contract. The name was stolen. It was always yours. And that's coming from that big, remember I talked about this about a year ago? That big top lawyer, the guy that was working above the Pope type people? The one that said the mouthy tranny's the only one on the web that's got it right? He also said the name was always yours. It's the assumption and presumption of it being the legal name in your ignorance that draws you into the contract. The name was yours. Mom and Dad didn't give it to you with the intent, well, if I'm going to give this to Kevin and I'm going to go off and I'm going to fucking sell it and I'm not going to tell him because I want him to be a slave for his life. That wasn't the intent. The intent of the system was to screw Mom and Dad, to enslave your soul, to drain it of its energy. That fraud's revealed, null and void. Kevin, that name belongs to you. All I'm trying to do for everybody is to show the difference, that you are not the legal name. The fucking name is yours. But you've got to get this first so that assumption and presumption can never be used against you. If I can get your assumption and presumption, I can prove whatever intent I want. Not a game you want to play, so know thyself. You are whatever you choose to be, and if you like the name Mom and Dad gave you, it's yours, whether they gave it to you or not. Fair?
Fair enough, and thank you, Kate. Now, that's just been arguing in my head for a little while, and now I see how pathetic it was. Thank you very much again. And before I do sign off, I'd like to say it's great to see how the table is expanding since a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I just see it getting bigger and bigger. And thank you to everybody out there. We are all playing our part. We're all as special as each other, and love will see us through.
Bingo, there you go. I love when the light of the divine, absolute pure essence of light and love shows up at the table, and that's why I love all you guys. You do it all the time. Got 14 minutes here. Guys, please, it's been a long day. I will roll over for a little bit. Do not, out of courtesy for me, please do not push it, but I do want to make sure that everyone gets on the table tonight. For those that want to catch anything that we roll over with, you can call in at 661-467-2401, and also you can do a Skype search for BTR Listener 021. Once it shows up, right-click and hit call to bring you to the board, or you can hit the Skype button through Blog Talk and get to the board that way as well. We've got about 13 minutes until we roll over. Just want to say a big thank you to Paul Giovanni and the crew at criticalmassradio.co.uk, without which we wouldn't have this table to sit at, and that includes all of you that help and support it in any way possible that you can. And that's not, I'm not referring to financial. This is an energetic, okay? So everyone does their part, whether it's through fiat or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So thank you, everybody. And that's really all I ever want to say with regards to Critical Mass Radio in terms of support, because it's already happening. I accept the fact that it happens. And everything at the site, my site, everyone that I'm directly involved with, all of the information we share here is yours free. This has to be available to everyone, and it has to be understandable by the children. And that's what this is all about. If an 8-year-old can get it, no names here, mate, I think you can too. And it really is that simple. Thank you, White, for making it so crystal clear. Anyway, I got you back on the board, Witness. Let me get these mics open. Colleen, you're in there. I've got Lou, and Mag. I'll beat the system with love. There you are. I do have a lot of lines open here. Mark, you're in as well. So whoever hasn't had a chance to jump in here yet, please do. I want to make sure I hear everyone's voice tonight. 816, your mic is now open again, and 215, your mic is open again. Hey, who we got?
Colleen.
Colleen.
I'll just
Colleen.
Hi, everyone. I'll just say real quick that I was just really laughing that visual that Steve was giving about the the steering wheel in the column, I had that visual, like when little kids are pretending like they're driving and they have one of those little pretend steering wheels and they have it up there and and it's really real to them, the energy, and that was a good laugh. And then I just wanted to give my love to Randy, and he knows I'm standing there with him, and just to show how connected we all are. When Barbara came on and she was giving those lyrics to that song, I'm thinking, I love that song.
I got like 10 minutes.
I was like, I love that song.
I'll go and stop by minutes.
Somebody has their mic open.
Yeah, I've opened the mics again. I'm not sure who it is.
Anyway, so the lyrics to that song, and so I just while you were talking, Kate, I opened up Google and I'm looking at that, and I put in the lyrics and I go, oh yeah, that's Junior Walker and the All Stars. I don't know who remembers Junior Walker.
I remember Junior Walker and the All Stars.
Oh my God, what does it take? And then, you were talking, and right above. You said the word show and tell, and right above it was Al Wilson, show and tell. Right when you said those, right when you said those words, and then Randy came on, and it was kind of like a show and tell of what happened to him today. So I just thought that was cool. So that's my piece. Much love to all. Love you, Randy.
Thank you, Colleen, and again, Randy. If you want to tag me after the show, just let me know what time that I can hang around my computer just to make sure I'm there. I'm going to be there anyway, but if you want me at that meeting, please feel free to call me, and you can put me on with that attorney, and I'll turn him inside out and backwards. He will turn 15 different shades of purple. Promise.
Yep. And I appreciate that. I'll carry you along in my pocket. Would you rather do Skype or a cell phone?
Oh, I can do either. I've got a few minutes left on my credits on Skype. I've got, I think, $3 or something, and I've got my phone pretty much full, so I don't give a shit what you want. You need me there, I will be there with bells on in whatever format I need to be. Fair enough?
Fair. Thank you. Love you all. Thanks, Colleen.
Love you too. I'll dance with you any day of the week, my friend. No problem.
Hey, Kate, it's Lou D. How you doing?
Lou, how are you? I was wondering when you'd jump in.
Doing well. I've just been listening, but I had a question for you.
Sure.
I had heard a while back you talk about maybe doing some tarot readings in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I would definitely be interested in hearing that. I don't know about anybody else.
Okay, well, again, they take me about 45 minutes to an hour, so I really I don't have a shit pile of time to do it, but if someone really, really, really wants to, give me a couple of days' notice, and that way... Okay, I think I know which number that is now. Okay, let me just do that. All right, yeah, just give me a little bit of heads up on it, because I tell you right now, the fact that I just said that, I probably get hammered with it. But, out of courtesy, yeah, I'll do the odd one here and there. Just give me a good couple of days heads up so I can actually get my head around it and make sure there's room for it, because I don't plan anything. That's the other thing, right? So it comes at me as I need to. So Lou, yeah, by all means.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Hi, Kate.
There you go. Hey, how's it going?
Celsid here.
Hey.
Long overdue. Thank you for all that you do.
My pleasure.
Yeah, peace, brother, sister, and I'll mute out. Thank you.
I just had a run-in with the police. Y'all want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm coming down 18 at the golf course. I start hearing this alarm going off. You can hear it all the way across the golf course. I'm coming down. It's a par 5. I come down and I get on the green and I start seeing the police. It's obviously going off the clubhouse. There's only 2 cars in the parking lot. My car, and it's the end of the day, so it must have been the guy that was putting in the cart. I'm the last guy on the golf course because there's only 2 cars. The 2 cops come in, they put their cars right behind the 2 cars in the parking lot. And I'm on the green at this time. I'm like, whoa, they're probably going to want to know who I am. And I'm like, I didn't have no fear, nothing. I was ready. I was like, I didn't sit back in the car and wait for them to leave. It was taking a good old time. I got up with the golf cart. I rolled up to my car, opened up the door, put my golf bag in there, went right up, put the car where it's supposed to go, and went and found those police officers and told them to move the damn car out of the way. And they said, "How you doing today, sir?" I said, "How you doing?" I said, "I need someone to move that car. It's got my car blocked in." He looked at me and said, "No problem, sir." Boom. Moved it. I had no ID on me, nothing. I was not afraid. I was ready.
Oh, Master and Commander, you have your flagship. Told ya.
And as to what Steve was saying earlier about, he was talking about the lawyer, and no, it was Coral. It was Coral talking about that lawyer she was dating. I really think, from the lawyer that I've been dealing with, I really believe that if I was to hand him that Babylon is Fallen, that his ass is way too that happy to even believe in it. He would choose money over truth. That's what I think. I don't know what Coral's situation.
You see, that is the program that's running in the vast majority of the minds of these people. That's why the cartoon. You know, you keep telling me truth about the fraud of the job that I do. How am I supposed to make a living? And there are many. I mean, hell, I have emailed countless cops, lawyers, judges, etc., and told them exactly what they're doing. And, well, do you think I ever got an email back from any of them saying that, thank you very much, I'm going to quit now? Not a chance, because I'm here to ferret out all the cowards. I don't expect, me personally, I don't expect to find one. I'm here to rout out dragons. That's my job. I'm a dragon, so I'm here to pull them out. And so the more information and contract I send out, the more of this demonology, the dark principality, whatever the hell you want to call it, this negative entity aspect, is getting destroyed. That's what I do. I'm just going through and swathing with a scythe and a chainsaw. That's all I do. So very well done, my friend. Perfect.
That was easy. It felt. I was not afraid. I'm like, today might be the day. I'm going to be able to find out. I'm going to find out who I am, really.
Well, you heard me in the beginning of the show. I said that. When you stand in truth, you're going to, or a lie, you're going to get tested. And to whatever degree that you need to be tested is what's going to show up. And you had what I call the feather tap. And that's all you need, because that's how certain you are. Remember, 3.5 years ago, I got a mountain dropped on me because I wasn't aware of what I needed to be aware of at that time, but I obviously hit a couple of nails on the head that I wasn't ready to fully understand then. And of course, my path, I had to experience all of these things to show the absolute contrast. Plus, the other side of the coin is I share all of this freely, and it cost me everything. And that's how important the truth is. Would I pay the price again? Absolutely. And then some, because I know, I don't believe, I don't think, I know the value of standing in truth now, more than I ever could have imagined.
That's because you're like me. You needed the sledgehammer upside the head. The feather didn't work.
No, it never would work with this bitch. Not a chance. You're right, Steve. Ow! I was built for this, guys. This is the thing. The more I look at it, my whole life I was getting punched down, beat down, and all the rest of it. I had quite the upbringing, and every time I got knocked down, I'd always get up and I'd mope for a little bit. But then that little voice, my true self, would say, "Come on, bitch, stop your whining and stand up and brush yourself off, because you know you're better than that." And every time I stood up, I always stood up just a little bit taller, until I got to runway model height at 5'9". It's beautiful. Oh, fuck, I love this game. It hurts so much. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but Katie, a lot of folks, especially the new folks, I don't think really embrace or completely grasp that we really are the 3%, the real tip of the spear.
Oh, yeah.
And even those of us that are still trying to learn, how do I handle this? Where's the template for that? And yada. Once you really, can I use your documents, Katie? Can I use your Once you really embrace this stuff, and like you say, those of us that have had everything ripped away from us and have nothing to lose, fuck it. Okay, well, this is the truth, and that's where I'm going to stand. But like like a child that insists on having something until you come at it from that perspective. Especially the new folks, from what I'm seeing, they're not really getting that we're not at the critical mass. In spite of the name of the radio station, we are the tip of the spear, and there's so much more to come. And so you just have to accept what you know. I guess that's the best way to say it, or synopsize what you've been saying. We know these things. And all these little scenarios and details and things are coming back to us, and we're all going, yeah, rah, rah, ooh, white, yeah, all this stuff. You know, and these kids are beginning to get it because we're leading by example.
Exactly. Here, let me sum up what I was going to say. Let me sum up what you.
And you're the synopsis.
No. You're long-winded. Holy shit, get me going. Let me sum up what you said very simply. Children feel the need to ask for permission. We cherry pick the truth, and we take what we need because it was given freely. If you found it, it's yours, and that applies to everything.
Yeah, but I'm also talking about if you've never come head to head with a child that stubbornly wanted something, right? They want it, they know they deserve it, and they're just going to stand there and hold their breath until you give it to them. And it doesn't matter whether it's a cop or a judge or an ADA or something like that. Eventually, that kind of attitude is going to get out. You're going to get it.
For sure. Someone's still talking on their phone on the other end, guys. We've got 10 seconds to roll over. Please, all the mics are open. If you are talking with the phone near you or your Skype, the radio show is picking it up. Please keep it quiet on your end because I've got a lot of lines open here, and I don't have time nor the patience to go and mute everybody. So please, guys, let's be adults here. Thank you. I want to hear what people have to say.
What the gentleman was just saying is very true, and I didn't catch the name. I'm sorry, but this is done. Babylon is fallen.
That's Guru. Fuck you,
motherfucker. Oh, fuck you too, my asshole.
Isn't it great when you have a name like that?
I love you, brother.
Who are you? Fuck you.
Fuck you
really?
too.
And he means it.
Also, you betcha. Yeah, that was a beautiful point. And because the fact is, Babylon is falling, everything's coming down, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But we have to stay aimed and focused. Okay? It's not time for the picnic party quite yet, I don't believe. It didn't feel like that to me today when my body was so tired and wore out and I was mentally fighting all this shit I fought today. It didn't feel like the game was quite over yet, so we have to stay focused and aimed at the direction we're moving.
Commitment, yeah.
Indeed. Okay, we're in the rollover, guys. I don't want to be on here too long. Not that I don't love you and everything. It's just been a long day, and 4 hours plus talking is enough for me.
Fuck you too, Kate.
I know. Shut up, you whiny bitch, Kate. I know. I get it. It's all good. We got Paul jumping in. 3, 2, 1. Oh, this is going to be another blast off. I can feel it.
Blue Green Lori here. Hi, all my beautiful co-creators.
Oh, I'm just calling you blast off now.
I just wanted to read a quote, and it's by the founder of the art of Aikido, and I can't pronounce his name, so I'll just spell it now, and then I'll read the quote. Go ahead, Colleen. Do you know the name, Colleen?
Oh, yeah, it's Yeshiva.
Yes. And I don't. The first name is Moreihi.
Morihei Yeshiva.
Okay, so here's the quote. The way of the warrior has been misunderstood. It is not a means to kill and destroy others. To smash, injure, or destroy is the worst thing a human being can do. The real way of a warrior is to prevent such slaughter.
My dresser, on my, you'll find it.
hang on a sec, Lori. Whoever just talked, hang on, guys. Whoever just talked about it's on my dresser drawer or whatever. Your mic is. Okay, one sec. You know, I try to be courteous with everybody, and I make it really clear, but I'm not quite sure whose mic that is. 816. Give me a second here, guys. 816. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you good. Great.
Okay, now, is that your voice in the background talking?
Yeah, that's me, baby.
Okay, I need you to mute your phone, okay, because it keeps getting picked up and it is stepping all over people.
I thought I already did. I already muted the speakers on the computer.
No, it's your mic that you need to mute, hon, because it's getting picked up. It's okay. I'm just letting you know if you can't mute your phone.
Okay, so how do I do that?
I don't know. If you have a mute on your phone, that's great. Or
okay,
shut up works good.
Okay.
That works.
I unplugged everything now. Is that better?
Okay. Or cover the mouthpiece when you're talking.
I unplugged everything except my phone. Is that good?
Well, yeah. You're still talking into your phone. When you talk, the mic picks it up. So make sure it's covered. Unless you can mute your phone. Okay, guys, and that's for everybody. That's not just for this caller. Please, please.
I'm good, babe. Thanks.
Okay, now that I've got your attention, what do you need to share tonight? That's all I want. You guys to talk in.
I just want to share a little story about manifestation. Because in all these things that we do, we don't always talk about manifestation. And just the other day, I was like short of cash. I was like short of everything, and I was at work. And I told myself all day long, keep looking down the ground. You're going to find something. You're going to find something. And the wind was blowing really rough, and I thought, well, you're not going to find a $10 bill, which is kind of what I needed for gas, right? And I knew I wasn't going to find that, but I kept looking down. And then by the end of the day, I found a little container that it said cinnamon sticks. And I picked it up, and it had like a couple of this might sound really funny for you guys, but it had a couple of 7.5 Vicodins and a couple of feet.
Give me a sec, Kate. I got to get some.
And two, Ranity for heartburn. And
yeah,
for most
people,
that wouldn't, that would be a big score. But for me on that day, it
Can you hear
was
me?
a big score.
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You hear me? Okay, the point of the story isn't what I found, but is that I knew I was going to find. So I kept looking. I kept looking down all the time because I was already told myself that I was going to find something that was going to be of value. And again, I'm working 8 hours a day right now, and I'm not used to it and stuff, and my body's like aching and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, that 7.5 Vicodin felt really fucking good, okay? Oh, I'm sorry about the bad language. But the point of it is that I knew
language. You just
the
said drugs were
manifestation was keep looking down, you're going to find something. And then when I knew that, wait, you're not going to find a $10 bill because the wind's going to blow it away. So instead, I didn't even, I didn't know picture of what I was going to find, but when I looked down and I found that little container with those cinnamon sticks, and then instead it was some pain pills and a Xanny, then I was pretty freaking happy. So my point of this story is, even though in the best story, is that manifestation is, and to be more on.
So your meditation got you some pharmaceuticals. You got off.
Yeah, sorry guys, I've been trying to just disconnect it, and my page is going nuts. So I'm gonna call it for the night, and that'll be that. So we'll pick this up tomorrow, because that energy, that's exactly the energy I've been feeling all night. So. No harm, no foul to anybody, but don't ever come to this table talking about bullshit like that, please. Thank you very much. So I have no. Okay, hang on.
To the lady,
guys.
Yes,
Kate,
yeah.
Did I bring bullshit?
When you're talking about Vicodin, yes. Okay, gotta go. Love you guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
What was the title of it? Let me just scroll. I just want to make sure I get it right. So if you want to find this on YouTube, I highly recommend it. I shared Steve's story a while back. He was the individual that went in to down in the U.S. And again, it doesn't matter where you are on this planet. And I really need people to get this. This is probably the most important critical thing to get. If there is a court in that country, it is under the Crown rule. They're all the same rules for all the same countries, for all the same slaves. They just make it look like it's a different jurisdiction. There are only two. There's you and being dead. You play with the legal game, you are dead. So don't be surprised if you get treated that way. You can't hurt the dead, especially those that consent to be it. So quit your garning, quit your crying. Time to grow up and grow a pair. Fair enough. Okay, so where was I going there? Video. Let me see. Hated Patriot, episode 32, The Rebellion Strikes Back. Now, this story from Steve, and I want to continue on. I did a synopsis of White's story with Wayne and his daughter White, of course. I did the synopsis wrap-up on the afternoon show on criticalmassradio.co.uk, the 2 for Tuesdays, right? We get Tuesdays, it makes sense. And I did a synopsis and a wrap-up of all of that, and this is still unfolding. And what's happened here with White not feeling well is exactly fully expected. Because I'll tell you, whenever it hit me, I was literally at an ethereal peak, and bodies just can't handle that shit. But getting back to Steve, he shares his own story in his own words. He was the one that was there. He was the one that experienced it, and everything that we've been talking about all along is proving out time and time and time and time again, because it's truth. That's the thing with truth. Don't try to tell me that 1 + 1 = 3, because I'll bitch slap you upside the fucking universe. Okay? And I am very curt for a reason. I am very blunt because I am sick and tired of it. This whole system and all of the people sucking up on the tits of the whore of Babylon, because I'm going to tell you what you're party to, and this is, I guess, a mini rant tonight. If a child gets harmed as a result of the system, if you are supporting that system in any way, shape, or form knowingly for self-service, again, there's two worlds operating here, and those that understand what I'm saying, that know how to deal the system a death blow back by using it against itself, that's different. But those that serve the system are reluctant to accept the reality that anything to do with the legal name is, in fact, making you dead, and your soul is claimed as a result. Of course, if you have any children, if you give a shit about them, you might want to pay attention, because if you registered them, just like you were registered, they're slaves and their soul is owned by another. So let's get the game right here. If you're doing anything in the system because that's all you can do and all you know how to do, now, fine line here, guys. I can feel the egos already. But for those who don't know who you are, please disregard this, because you already know who you are. We've had this discussion countless times. But if a child is harmed as a result of the system that one is supporting and serving, and I'm talking about the free men on the land gurus and the shills and the idiots and all the rest of it, if you're doing things to promote anything within the system, you're harming that child. And here's the magic. Way now. No one touches the children. And I will grant the most profound wish of mirror for all harms that you are doing as a result. You make your bed, I'll make fucking sure you lie in it. Because if you're not living in the truth, you're lying anyway. So you might as well get in the bed that I'm going to set on fire. This is how resolved I am. And I honestly love when people want to challenge me as far as my integrity and as far as my purpose and my drive and my resolve. You see, I am the one that got to walk through my experience. Very difficult to convey to others. However, I am in the fortunate position of being able to share that on a nightly basis, have for the last 6 years. Not to the level, of course, since I've been with Critical Mass, which has been 7 nights a week. It's quite a grind, guys, but this is how much you matter to me. And if you don't think you matter to you, well, good thing that I do. I think you matter, and I'm going to make damn sure you get this, and I don't care if you love me or hate me. Whatever it takes to get this, to be really blunt here. And it's not that I don't want to, because I will. This is my nature. I will just keep chatting. I don't have time to chat 5 or 6 different windows all day, especially between shows on a Tuesday. So much love to everybody. If you have a question, just pop it in. And don't worry, I see it. I acknowledge it. But I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, try to text you answers to some of the most profound fucking questions you could ever ask anyone. It doesn't work that way. Pop your question in, call into the table, let's discuss it here, because I assure you, the questions that I get asked all the time have already been answered long ago. Countless shows, countless thousands of hours of on-air shows, on top of that, countless thousands upon thousands of hours of research and dedication to this. This is all I've done for the last 4.5 years. And whole life, actually, but really, it really didn't come into focus until 4.5 years ago. So I would just ask to keep that in mind. I've got over 2,000 people in my Skype alone, 5,000 on Facebook, and, of course, email that I didn't even get a chance to get to today. So I just want to, if you could put that in the back of your mind. I know I love chatting with people. I do, and I will keep going as long as you keep going. So just ask. Don't provoke me to keep talking, because I will. That's just my nature. Just letting it out there again. I've mentioned this quite a few times in the past. More importantly, though, Facebook, as far as texting, is just a royal pain in the ass. What I can cover in 5 minutes conversation would take me 2 hours on texting. So that's why I give out my Skype, my phone number and shit, so you can actually get a hold of me direct. So I do enough typing all day. And, well, if you go to my writings page, you'll understand what I'm talking about there. So, anyway, that's not a rant or anything. It's just that's my asking for a little courtesy on your part to, if you want answers and stuff, maybe oblige me by sharing it the way I can share it quicker, faster, and more direct to you. Plus, of course, with voice as well, you will get the intent and the frequency. I had a great chat with Paul and Magnolia earlier this afternoon, and quite frankly, it was a radio show all by itself, which that's what I mean. I'm on the phone as well all day and trying to keep up on top of things. Big shout out to Steve Travesty for putting up that video, The Hated Patriot, number 32.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Good evening. Welcome to Outside the Box. Yours truly, Kate of Gaia, coming at you live on criticalmassradio.co.uk. And I find that such a load of rhetoric. Of course, it's live. A little hard to talk if you're dead. But then if you're a legal fiction, you operate under a legal name. Well, you're consenting to be dead, and dead men tell no tales. So I guess in that sense, there's the singularity. So I guess there was one time that I was talking live dead on the air. Huh. Interesting perspective. Great big shout out to the Gemini White Tiger. The White Tiger has shown up, and she's going through her own little spiritual purging right now, just like the rest of us have in the last few weeks. Some still going through Bindi last night, Paul and so many others that have... let's just say this is the purging of the poisons that we have been dealt with for so long, and you get an idea of what this system is, and you pass through this on your way to immortality. So take heart, and it's a beautiful blessing. It's a pain in the ass, but you got to see it for what it is. And bodies just aren't used to housing monster spirits that are that big. So that's all it is. It's all good. But the dragon wings of this Gemini are wrapped tightly around the Gemini tiger, the Gemini white tiger. Maybe watch Last Samurai again. You'll see the allegory. So stand to post, do not yield, none shall pass. We do this together. It's really that simple. Lots of interesting comments. Something else too, and again, I don't want anyone feeling bad or whatever, but one, Facebook texting is okay just for little bits here and there. I do not like it as a rule because it is too small to read and type and all the rest of it. I've only got a little notebook. Skype is much better because, well, it's direct access and I don't have to keep opening and closing windows and wasting a shit pile of time during the day. So I would ask people, if you're going to have a chat with me, get on Skype. I'm going through the thick scopes of the ego programs to get them out of you, the demons, the of me's out of you, the happier I am. And I don't really care how I do it. And I don't care if you get offended if somehow I've offended your fragile little ego by calling you a wanker or whatever. The simple truth is this: I want your goat. I want you paying attention. I want you to see this because it's costing you your soul. If you don't want to pray, that's fine. If you're easily offended and have a need to defend an ego just because you can't face the truth, that's fine. But that's your call. I'm just going to call you out on it. Because I know countless people now that know exactly what I'm saying and stand in their truth. And they will not yield. And they know the price that is paid if you do. So this is my shout out to all those that actually have a benevolent intent, and I know many of you. I know Max Egan's got a beautiful benevolent intent. Santabonacci does. Dean Clifford does, as far as I could tell from him. And here's the thing. If you're promoting anything within the system, you're harming the children. You harm the least of me. You harm the beast in me. And this dragon will fire you up. And I will not tolerate any debate on this anymore. I'm sick and tired of pseudo-experts thinking they actually know something about this system, trying to tell me what it is. It's been over 2 years since I've held my daughters in my arms. This is what it has cost me. In the sole effort of trying to protect them and the ones and my partner, who I haven't talked to in over a year. This is what the system did to me, to try to break me. 28 days solitary, you should try that one on for size. You should try being a mark, a target, which I was since May 26th of 2010. No, there wasn't a parking ticket in the Judge Bows to Sovereign video. I was there. It was a test to see what I knew, to see if they could buckle me under. They failed miserably. And as a result, probably the most viral truth video on the web came out of it. Judge Bows to Sovereign. Doesn't matter that it was me. Just pay attention to what happened. Start asking yourself the questions, why? Because that's all.